Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
When Jesus says, I've not come except for the lost sheep of Israel, what do you guys understand by that? Because she wasn't from the Bani Israel. She wasn't a Jew.
Can you ask the question one more time?
Yeah. So when Jesus says, I've not come except for the lost sheep of Israel, to this woman who wants Jesus to help revive her daughter, what did he mean when he says, I've not come except for the lost sheep of Israel? In other words, he's trying to tell her that you're not from the lost sheep of Israel. So I cannot help you. I have only come for the lost sheep of Israel.
Do you know the verse?
Matthew 15, I think around 20, thereabouts.
21.
Is it 21? Yeah, thereabouts.
Saying that Jesus didn't help her?
No, I didn't say he didn't help her. I said initially he ignored her. Put it here. You find it?
Yeah, I just gotta read it.
Okay, read it, yeah, go on. She's found it, yeah. Which number is it?
21.
21, yeah. Matthew 15, 21, yeah. Do you want to read it aloud so we can all benefit from the context? By the way, guys, if you're watching, don't forget to subscribe to Dawah Wise. Alhamdulillah, another beautiful Sunday here. And we got our friends who are Christians. Where are you guys from?
Norway.
Norway. Oh, that's
So
interesting.
you think
Yeah.
Jesus only come for a few
Only for the lost sheep of Israel. Yeah. It says Matthew 15, 21. You read it?
we have read the whole context.
Of course, of course.
A lot of verses
No
that,
problem.
Jesus come for everybody.
If you read the whole context, explain to me the meaning of this passage. Go on. I'm not telling you to take it out of context. Put it in context and then explain it to me. Why did Jesus tell her, I have not come except for the lost sheep of Israel?
I think that's not the problem because so many times Jesus is saying that he died for everybody's sin.
So was he contradicting himself then?
But can I just say what it says in the verse 28? Because it says, then Jesus
Read,
said,
if you want, read it, the whole thing rather than just jump to 28.
Okay.
Read from 21 to 28 if you have to. So we get the whole
We
context.
also need the context.
Yeah, of course. I never told you not to put it in context. Put it in context.
should I just read the whole thing?
From 21, yeah.
Leaving that place, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. A Canaanite woman from the vicinity came to him, crying out, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is demon-possessed and suffering terribly. Jesus did not answer a word, so his disciples came to him and urged him, send her away, for she keeps crying out after us. He answered, I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel. The woman came and knelt before him. Lord, help me, she said. He replied, it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. Yes, it is, Lord, she said. Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table. Then Jesus said to her, Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted. And her daughter was healed at that moment.
Yeah. So what do you understand from that passage, which I asked you the question about? Why did Jesus say, I have not come except for the lost sheep of Israel?
One of our
Which verse is it? Is it 21? The lost sheep of Israel? Or 20?
But it also
24,
says,
yeah.
I just want to say what says in 28, when Jesus says, Woman, you have great faith.
Yeah.
Your request is granted. So even though she wasn't...
I will come to that, but we are going in chronological order.
Okay.
So first, explain why he said only the lost sheep of Israel, and then we'll come to that passage at the end. Because here, Jesus is clearly telling her something very specific about how she is different from the other Jewish people. That you're a Gentile, and these are Jews. I came for the Jews. So in a nutshell, he's telling this. You guys are not Jews, I'm assuming. Yeah, you're Gentiles according to him. And then he says, I do not cause the bread of the children to the dogs. Who are the children? Again, the Jews. And who are the dogs? The Gentiles. Why would Jesus use such a derogatory term like dogs to represent this woman, her child, and all her kind, basically, all the Gentiles? Why such a harsh term?
Can I just read one...
Read it as many times as you want, no problem.
No, another. In Matthew 28.
Okay.
In verse
28:19? As long as we don't lose focus of...
28:19.
Okay.
There.
I know the Great Commission. I know about the Great Commission, which you're going to mention,
Yeah.
but it has got nothing to do with this context right now.
No, but first Jesus came for Israel. And
Okay.
then the whole earth
Yeah.
is included in his...
So that is the question I'm asking. Why first for Israel?
Because that was...
Isn't God someone who is loving to all his creation? Why would he distinguish? Why would he discriminate, I would say? Because he also calls them dogs, and I think that is discriminatory.
Somebody has to be first. So I think it's not a contradiction to start one place and then say that despite that you are not...
Yeah, but it's not just starting there.
As well.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that he's not just starting with them, he's also calling them dogs. The other camp.
I think it's more of a picture.
Why? What is the picture he's painting? Imagine if somebody calls you or your family or someone that you love dogs, would you not get offended?
Maybe he's pointing to that everyone's a sinner.
No. He said the dogs and the children. He distinguishes between the children and the dogs.
But he also says that he dies for everyone later.
You know, if there is a mother,
Yeah.
and she has a child, and this mother is in desperate need for help. Yes? She literally begs Jesus on her knees. And this is her lowest point when she is so vulnerable. And at that time, Jesus refers to her as dogs. You know, any teacher in the right mind would never do that. Imagine you go to the A&E, the emergency section of the hospital. Yes, you're in need of help, emergency help. And you ask the doctor to help you. And the doctor then discriminates you based on your color or your background. Yes? And in fact, he goes to the extent of calling you even a term which is offensive, like maybe the N-word. Yes? Then you will definitely say this is unfair. Jesus did not come to do that. You know, as a Muslim, Jesus is my messenger and my prophet. And I hate to see the way he's been portrayed in the Bible. In the Quran, Allah blesses him and his mother. In the Bible, he has been degraded to the level of people who call names to other people, who discriminate them based on their race. I see that as offensive to my messenger and my Messiah.
Can I answer?
Yeah, of course you can.
I just want to point out that she actually gets the help that she's seeking. But that's important here. Because, she actually got what she's looking for.
It's like me saying in the hospital, that man who went for the emergency treatment got the treatment after being called the N-word. It doesn't take away this, what do you say? In a way, he has been discriminated and looked down upon. It doesn't take that away, does it? The shame still remains. That's sin. You know, to me, that is a sin. I don't know about you guys. Do you see racism as sin?
Yeah.
Yes? Well, Jesus is being portrayed as a sinner in the Bible. Even though you as a Christian might disagree, but this is what I see as an outsider to the Bible. Oh, sorry, I digress. You wanted to point to 28:19, but have we finished with the Matthew 15? And then we can proceed to that if you want. Because at the end, I agree, he did help her, but only after insulting her. You know, he already knew, the fact that she comes to him willingly, that itself should be sufficient to show Jesus that she had faith in him. He didn't need to insult her. There was no point of that. The only reason I see that is because he has been lowered to the level of certain Jews who used to discriminate between the Gentiles and the Jews and used to call them names like donkeys and swine. You know, there's another passage in Matthew as well where he says, do not give what is holy to the dogs and the pigs, the swine, lest they trample it under the feet. Matthew 6, I believe. Matthew 6, 7. Chapter 6, verse 7. Yes? Again, this is the holy book. Don't give it to them. And here the Gentiles have always been treated as someone who were unclean and dirty. And that's why they were called pigs. Yeah, sure.
First, I think Jesus is making an image of the culture that the other people was looking at like some rubbish or dogs, like the words.
The unclean, yeah. So this
the culture Jesus was explaining, but despite of that, Jesus helped her and saved her.
Yeah, but my friend, that's the reason I asked you. If somebody already has faith in you, why would you want to insult her? If you were the teacher and you wanted to teach her something good, something moral, then the last thing you want to do is become immoral in the way you behave, which is calling her a dog and her child a dog. I do not give the bread of the children to the dogs. The children are the Bani Israel, the Jews. The dogs are the Gentiles, everybody else. You see what I mean? Discrimination clearly. And not only that discrimination, but calling her derogatory terms like dogs. Yeah, go on.
So if you look at the Greek term, it's chimerios, I think. I
Yeah.
don't know how to say
That's fine. That's fine.
And
Yeah.
that means more like little dog. So it's more
Still a
like,
dog, little dog, big dog, still a dog.
It's more like a pet, like someone he cares for, someone he wants to take care of and give.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. Would you ever consider anybody's children as dogs?
No.
Thank you. So whether it's a small dog or a big dog, doesn't matter. It's still a dog. I know the Christians use this euphemism, small dog, but my friend, look, at the end of the day, calling anyone a dog is not good. Whether it's your child or somebody else's child.
But this is today, and that was
Back then, they were still children.
It was,
Back then, they were still children who were called dogs, and the term dog was still derogatory. That's the reason it wasn't used for the Jewish people. They were called the children. The others were called dogs. If it was good in both ways, then I would say Jesus would be fair if he called them both dogs. But no, One group of people were called children, meaning children of human beings. The other were dogs, children of dogs, if you want to call it small dogs, no problem, still dogs.
How can you know that the girl was insulted?
How? Because look, the girl wouldn't care if she was insulted. When you're in an emergency situation, the last thing you care is what somebody else is going to offend you with. You will tell that doctor, even if they call you an N-word, you'll tell them, I don't care what you tell me, right now I want you to treat my child. And that is the reason the woman says, even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. Because she didn't care at that time. For her, she had faith in Jesus, and she wanted treatment for her child. And the fact that at the end Jesus treats a child, that was sufficient for her. And that's the reason Jesus says you have faith. Why did he say that? Was he testing her faith? Even if he was testing her faith, it still does not excuse his treatment in a negative way, calling her a dog, to be right, to be moral. The moral values of a teacher should be upright, should be the first thing. Yeah? And you will not see the Prophet of Islam treating anyone this way. You know, once there was a procession, there was a funeral of a Jewish person passing by. And the Prophet ﷺ stood up in respect. Why? Because he was a human being, even though he might not be a Muslim. Yes? And this was a respect shown by the Prophet ﷺ for everyone, even if they were non-Muslims. But what I'm saying is that we go even deeper than that. Because for us, it is something which offends us, because as Muslims, we respect and revere Jesus Christ and his mother Mary. Yes? And the way they've been portrayed in the Bible is really unfair.